What do the names Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed mean to each one of you? Personally, professionally, is it something you grown at, something you look at affectionately? Are you indifferent to it? How do you feel about it now?
For me, it's very much dead. But it's a means to an end where they were kind of, without going into so much stuff, Laurinaitis was running around wild, getting rid of people left, right, and center. People in the office, saw our value and wanted to keep us. And from what we've heard, we were on the chopping block anyway. As with all the other 40 people, we were also on that chopping block, and people within the office had to really fight to keep us because we were helping other people on the show. And it felt like they were kind of, it was kind of like told like, okay, we get to keep them, but we can't keep them as they are. What do we do? And it's kind of like scrambling. And it felt like, especially the first 6 months of Schism, when we were wearing the white and Jack was wearing the black, and we were very much just kind of, I don't know, it's I'm not saying something's better or for worse, but if you watch it, the character development was very hollow. It felt like it was just kind of like, you're now in white and you're in black, but don't ask why. So if we asked, like, can we thicken this out, or how do you want this? They most of the time they wouldn't know the answer. So it just kind of felt like a means to an end, as in like, here's the names, like, here's this, like, just try and make it work. And that's kind of how it felt, and especially at the time they went through a weird portion of 2.0. And I personally think it's quite dated, where they came back to like the 80s characters, where it felt like, you aren't a wrestler who, so happens to, be in a cult. It's you are a cult and you just like doing wrestling on the side. It felt like everyone was these over the top characters, but then you watch the main roster and you look at people like, Judgment Day, who weren't these over the top, caricatures. They were like these thickened out characters. Like, if you asked me, like, what is a Damian Priest? It's you can't say he's a milkman or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, Damian Priest is a thickened out character. But then if you look on the NXT portion of things, because obviously everything progresses. If you asked us what's a Rip Fowler or what's a Jagger Reed, like, if you asked us as well, we would go, I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah.
Again, just at the time that was introduced, we spoke earlier about how there were so many changes happening behind the scene. Almost every couple of weeks there was something new or some new directive. That kind of happened along with the Schism stuff coming in, because the initial pitch was not how it played out either. So I think even it was just changing every other week. We got a pitch, we were like, okay, this is different and we're not doing anything, let's go for it. And then a couple of weeks later, the pitch has completely changed, but we're already in it. So now we're stood there dressed in fucking velvet robes, sweating our balls off in Florida, going, what the fuck is this? This isn't what we agreed to. And then a couple of weeks later, we're doing something else wild. And then before you know it, you stood there dressed in black and white with no fucking clue what we're doing.
It seemed very common that's how things happen. Like, I remember when I first heard about what Diamond Mine was supposed to be, and it was like Arturo Huas and like Marina Shafir and Stokely and somebody else. And then in 4 months, they had brought people in, fired a bunch of them, and replaced them. And, Ivy and the Creeds were great. It's just that was categorically different than what was laid out prior.
Yeah, and so again, it's like some people they want like a finger to point, like, who did this to my precious GYV? That's me saying that, by the way. That's not fans. No, some people want like a finger to point, or they want to know who it is, but ultimately it's just such a huge company that sometimes the writers will start doing one thing elsewhere, a completely different department, fire the people that those writers were writing for. So then the writers go like, oh, well, I've already started this, so they have to pivot. And then someone else comes in and says, no, the new company directive is that we're pushing young athletes. You need to put them in. So now that's getting changed. It's just, there's there's a lot of different departments who can accidentally step on each other. And at that time in wrestling, they were stepping on each other on a weekly basis. Again, that might not be completely accurate as to how it played out, but that's at least from where I was sat, how things were coming. The direction was changing all the time, and no one was like out to get us or out to put us down. It's just the way that it played out. We found ourselves situationally in that spot, and it was not the spot for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously, you got the Rock's daughter that is inserted into there. Was there some sort of unique pressure associated with that? I mean, just because of who it is and all that. I'm pretty sure by then everybody at the PC kind of knew her anyway. She'd been around for quite a while. But how were you all feeling with her being added?
So this is one of the only times I've really like put my foot down on a lot of things. For the best, I think personally, I still do think it was for the best. When we were told Simone was going to be involved with us, we were still wearing black and white, and it was very hollow, the development of characters. And I remember we were speaking, we were all speaking all the Schism, with Simone, getting ready for it. And we all just knew, like, there wasn't really, like, as what Jack said then, like, there was so much change that no one really knew what was going on, but it was like the train's going, do you know what I mean? But we just don't know where the destination is. So there was so much change, and we had to just tell them, like, this is kind of what we see, where it's going to be a big thing when, Ava makes her debut on TV. How about we try and make this, group cool? Like, because right now it reeks of uncool. Like, there's nothing about it I know I'm saying everyone has to be cool, but like, everyone's a product. But you have best intentions for, like, if someone's going to debut, they want to be part of something that's already got some, development. And then we came together and we developed the tree roots. We developed their masks with, writing on them. And like, instead of us wearing black and white, we were all wearing like grungy sort of clothes. And it was really like, that was the landing point. As soon as Simone or Ava, was like debuting, that was our big shift into developing a better Schism, essentially. Because it could go one way or the other. It could be like, Simone is Ava Simone. I never refer to her as the Rock's daughter. She is her own person.
Sure.
But when she makes her debut on TV, there's going to be loads of news articles saying Rock's daughter debuts. But imagine, and this is what I said to, The Office at the time, I said, imagine Rock's daughter debuts, and then me and, Zach are wearing black and white, and it's just very, like, weird, but it doesn't look cool. But I said to them, you can ride that momentum if everyone looks cool. So people who are seeing these headlines who aren't even in wrestling, they see this thing. They see, like, Rock's daughter debuts, and then we've all got these, like, purge masks on, and we all look kind of maniacal, and it's and it's now you've got a bit of a hook where it could be one way or the other. It could be, oh my God, she's doing this, or it could be, oh my God, she's doing this. Like, it could be good or bad, and it's depending on how we all look and how we all, present ourselves. And as soon as I said that, they were completely fine. The Office, like, understood it and said, yep, let's do this.